Hello, team, the Army of Light Earth Division, the boots on the ground. It's Shawna L. Francis. Today is June 18th, 2024. Thanks, everybody, for joining me for this week's weekly briefing. We are talking about the ascension on this channel. We are channeling Melchizedek, who is giving us incredible information about the negative reptilian regime, who is really in charge around these parts and have been for tens of thousands of years. And we're just now to the point where we are ready to know this, understand it, figure it out, integrate it, transmute it, and, get on with this ascension. I'm telling you guys, I'm having a heck of a time lately. I don't know what it was about last week's video, the last week's weekly briefing, where we talked about, again, the 1,000 years until we get to this place of the resurfacing of the planet and the evacuation of planet Earth, and going from a 3D carbon-based existence to a 5D crystalline-based existence, 144,000, yada, yada, yada. I just started having kind of these weird epiphanies start happening, and I've been having a lot of sidebar conversations with Melchizedek. I just feel like I'm starting to have this much broader understanding and realization of what the heck we're doing here, why we're doing it, how long we've been doing it. And I'm going to be speaking off the cuff like I normally do. And I do have some channeling from Melchizedek to share with you, which is absolutely beautiful. But I just want to go off on a little bit of a rant because I'm kind of like, I'm back to my freak out point, guys. You know how I get to this freak out point and it takes me a while to acclimate, and then I acclimate, and then they get me to some other new place and I freak out again about whatever's coming up. And I'm sure that everything I'm about to say is just going to be for you guys, well, duh, like we knew this. I think for me, I've had a lot of things that I've put on a shelf because basically I am really a skeptic. I'm very skeptical, and I'm an analytical thinker. I'm a critical thinker. I used to be. I'm not quite so much anymore. I'm much more trusting and operating from my heart space these days. But that's kind of where I come from. So a lot of things have gone on a shelf. Well, now some things are starting to come off the shelf, and I'm integrating as kind of really knowing, and it's blowing my mind. Just a few things here, if you can humor me for a moment here. So, a lot of what we're talking about, it's a lot like what's going on in the Bible with the book of Revelation. And I was led to a couple of videos that completely just summarize in a really cute way what's going on in Revelation. And not that there's anything cute about that, but it was digestible for me, understandable. And it was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, this is what we're doing right now. This is completely in alignment with where we're at. So again, it's like, yeah, this is the ascension. This is our, the coming, the apocalypse, Armageddon, all these things that the book of Revelation talks about. But, Melchizedek have started using language like the Garden of Eden. And, we've talked a lot about the second coming of Christ, and that being where we embody Christ consciousness. The people embody Christ consciousness. We talk about loving our enemies, all these things. The serpent, obviously, in the book of Revelation, that is talking about the negative reptilian regime here. So there's a lot more literal things going on in the book of Revelation, I think, than what we've really thought leading up to this point. And I mean, it starts with, again, like the serpent here, obviously the negative reptilians, the second coming of Christ, all of us embodying Christ consciousness. Melchizedek has said before, this is not going to be where Jesus is going to appear to folks like most people are hoping or expecting. They talk about the harvest. And if you've read Ra, the book of one, the law of one, I think it's the law of one, they talk about a harvest that happens on earth, every so many years. This is also what we're talking about, the 144,000, which again, last week Melchizedek talked about this being more of a conceptual number, not quite so literal, but fact of the matter is there's a handful of people on the planet right now who are going to reincarnate and reincarnate and reincarnate and reincarnate as light workers, as way showers, all the way through the end here until the actual ascension is ready and we're ready to come back and be reseated as 5D humans here on a 5D planet where no negative reptilian regime can operate. But so they talk about the harvest. It's absolutely what this is what they're talking about. Meeting, God up in heaven, well, going up in ships. And I know that if you've watched Ancient Aliens and some of this stuff, they do a lot of this kind of parallels of kind of looking at the Bible, looking at Revelation and comparing it to today. But for me, the knowing really started to sink in this last week, and kind of some of the things that I've been reading. I've pulled out a commentary on Revelation that I've been reading, other videos on Revelation, and of course at the end they talk about the Garden of Eden, and this is the exact language that Melchizedek is using. I also want to say that Melchizedek told me a few days ago that they were in fact the main source of information to John the Apostle for the book of Revelation in the Bible. Melchizedek supplied the information, most of the information that's in the book of Revelation to John, who was banished to a Greek island where he wrote all this down. Melchizedek, our guides. That in and of itself is blowing my mind, even though the Bible quotes Melchizedek, and Melchizedek had, supposedly shown up as a human figure as a child, I believe. And I haven't read the Bible, guys. I don't know much about it. So they are already quoted in there, but this is taking things to the next level. Melchizedek also told me just really today that there are groups of light workers that reincarnate together over and over again. So it's not just we as singularities, it's an aspect. We all have an oversoul, and we are aspects of an oversoul. So our oversoul, our soul, is going to have many aspects that incarnate and do different things here on this planet and other planets and other incarnations. Well, they were telling me today that there are big groups of us that come back together. And the light workers here, the way showers, this is no exception. We are likely, so it's one thing to kind of know, we know each other from the Galactic Federation of Light, for example, common missions, past lives, but imagine us, like the coordination that would have to go on for large groups of us to keep reincarnating over and over and over again as we get to this goal point with the ascension. So that's blowing my mind. Melchizedek has also told me today that I have channeled them and worked with them very closely over many, many lifetimes. They said almost countless lifetimes. So again, like I get that, many, many lifetimes ago, I decided to join the light. I left the reptilian regime. I joined the light. Somewhere along the line, I became an angel in training, a seraphim, and I'm getting close now finally. And this is a big lifetime for me. And there's a big mission here, which has yet to be revealed. We're working on it. We're working toward the goal, but I don't think like the big thing I'm supposed to be doing or will be doing has been revealed yet. But I've channeled them many, many times. And they're starting to talk to me about those lifetimes and what I did. And when I say I, it's really my oversoul. I'm but one, aspect of a larger oversoul here. So, all of this is kind of squishy and gets melded together. But I'm just really getting blown away again by this whole thing, and just the enormity of what we're doing here as light workers here in this moment. And Melchizedek talks about this again today. We're at a critical juncture. It is the last 1,000 years. It's really going to happen quickly. And there's a lot that's going to happen between now and then. Starting to talk to Melchizedek about Armageddon and what this is. I'm hoping soon I'll do a full video on this with a full channeling. But there's just a lot I'm integrating right now. But this is where we really have to turn it on and really know who and what we are in truth, and be taking this to heart and living it every day. Okay, so before I get into this channeling, thank you to everybody who has just graciously donated to join this live Q&A with Melchizedek tomorrow. The link for Eventbrite will be in the description here. It's going to be a great turnout. I'm nervous. I'm super nervous. I'm sure it's going to be great, and the energy is going to be wonderful. Um, I I've received a handful of questions already. We're going to figure out how to weave those in and also do live questions. But my friend Jess, she's going to be co-hosting with me. I'm so appreciative of that. And we'll get hopefully to most of the questions in 90 minutes. And if I don't, be sure to email me your question, and I will do my best to answer that question via email for you, either the audio recording or the transcript of what Melchizedek has to say. Okay, and then one last thing. I did put out a newsletter this morning. So check for that in your spam folder or junk folder if you didn't see it in your inbox. Just an update from me, an excerpt from the book, an update on the book, and yeah, that's about it. And talking about tomorrow's event. Okay, team, you're amazing. I'm so grateful for you. We are absolutely doing this together. There's no way I could do this without you, with all of your beautiful comments and support and your emails and all this love that crushes me each week. You guys are absolutely stellar, and I just appreciate you so much. All right, Melchizedek. Today, this is from this morning. I lied. We didn't actually channel on this morning. This is June 14th, so 4 days ago. All right, dear ones. We come to you today with more disclosure, more information, more news about the world in which you live. Please don't kill the messenger here, as they say. It is our highest intention to support you, to guide you, to nurture you, this very delicate unfolding happening before all of your very eyes. Earth is ascending, dear ones. The time is upon us to pivot, deepen our resolve. Look a little closer and be in the know. The time is at hand. We help you with this pivot, this beautiful transition to the next. Long ago in your linear time frame, humanity made a decision collectively that the ascension path would be the chosen path. It was your choice among a few options, and the universe rejoiced in hearing your resolve and knowing that there was real hope for love, for triumph, for expansion, and ultimate creativity. The time is here now, dear ones. Let your resolve carry you forward. Let yourselves be swept up and away, coasting high above the density. Resist the urge to get caught up and entangled in the chaos. Allow our words to see you through. Through this, allow our love to be present within each of your hearts, amplifying your love, your light, your tenacity, and your ability to soar in these moments. It is our highest honor to serve humanity in this way, to be witness to this incredibly important and monumental shift in consciousness. We celebrate you, dear ones. Behold, together we make all things new. All right, switching gears a bit here, they continue. As we were saying, disclosure. The time is now. This dear one here has so many questions since our last time with you, and for good reason. This is a pivotal time for humanity and the consciousness that you hold. The pieces are falling together. The picture is taking shape, coming into focus. What may have been blurry is now becoming more sharp. And just what you've all signed up for is becoming more apparent. That's where I'm at right now. What I've signed up for, what we've all signed up for collectively, is becoming more apparent. You know, when you really stop thinking about this individual life, this aspect, this singularity, this experience, it is blowing my mind to just expand this out to think, okay, I was with John the Baptist back at the times of Jesus. I was around long before Jesus walked the earth. Jesus was probably around long before Jesus walked the earth. You know, these different aspects of these oversouls, these monads. And imagine all of us coming back together over and over and over again, and the continuity of these lifetimes that are leading us to this awakened point that we're at. Right as things are going to get so chaotic and crazy with the negative reptilian regime, in a panic because they understand that they're losing their grip here. So Melchizedek here just very plainly and beautifully stating, it's time. It's really time to let this resolve carry you, to soar above the chaos. Let their words fill you. Let them help you amplify your light. Let's really know who and what we are in truth and bring in our A game. Time to bring the A game. They continue here. Pardon me. Who will continue to gaze on in the face of such incredible knowledge? Who will wince and look away and perhaps walk in the other direction? These are both perfectly acceptable choices. Follow your compass, dear ones. Use your discernment and be at peace. We have been preparing this monologue for quite some time. Once again, it represents a major stepping stone for the awakening of humanity. The uttering of these words, the voicing of this information, the placement in the collective consciousness is significant, dear ones. It is not to be taken lightly. It is an important part of this journey that we make together. Another little quick blip here. Remember too that I've told you that Melchizedek does not want me promoting this channel, doesn't want me amplifying it. You know, this is all for good reason. As they mentioned here a couple weeks ago, the negative reptilian regime has said, if you guys come onto the planet and help, we're going to cause mass destruction and mass casualties. You're going to regret this. Don't you dare come here or we're going to really screw things up even worse. So we actually come in a little bit stealth, a little bit under the radar. And they've said many times, it's who's here watching that's important. All of you who are watching these videos week after week and have been for many years, or maybe you're new and you've just picked us up and you're now on board and you're getting up to speed. Wow. You know, this is what we are meant to be doing, coming together in this way to support the seeding of consciousness with this information. And yes, there's been many other channels who have talked about this. You've got David Icke, who is really the pioneer when it comes to talking about reptilians here on the planet. And look what happened to that poor guy. Finally, he's getting some respect, thank goodness. But this is significant. They're saying it is not to be taken lightly. It's an important part of this journey that we make together. This information being presented to all of you, we're carrying this in the collective consciousness. This is the level we're working at. Okay. They say here, some of you may be aware that the negative forces here on the planet have been struggling as of late. They are resisting the dawning realization that their time on Earth, their time with humanity, is coming to a close. We understand that 1,000 years seems like an eternity for those of you who have suffered so greatly in this lifetime. Let us assure you, with a broader understanding of time and of space, and looking back relative to how long this regime has been wielding their influence on this planet, this 1,000 years represents the last 100 feet of a marathon. Yeah, I'm getting that. Their antics will continue to escalate in desperation. Trust nothing that you see in the news, dear ones. All must be suspect at this time. Remember that we said there are times when events and happenings, activities, programs are undertaken for the sole purpose of exploiting it in your media, to fill your head with fear through death and destruction, chaos and suffering. I will tell you too that after I got done channeling this, I'm like, well, what if I'm just checking headlines and just so I could kind of see what they're putting out there? And Melchizedek was like, no, don't do it. Don't put that stuff in your field. I think it's way beyond the words. I think it feels to me that like there's actually a vibrational encoding happening with this information. So they just said, just don't do it, Shawna. Don't even look at the headlines. Don't even engage. So I'm trying, it's more habit than anything. I've not really consumed much going on out there in mass media, but I do catch headlines here and there. But I guess I'm going to stop doing that too. Okay. And I know many of you have already done this. I'll continue here. Melchizedek. Their goal will be to, quote unquote, mesmerize the masses with their sulfuric antics. So many of you will be sucked into the vortex of misinformation and manipulation. So many will needlessly suffer anxiety and anger. Indeed, this is the negative reptilian regime's most immediate, most impactful tool for mass manipulation, and they will be taking advantage of this, especially in the coming weeks and months. Now, there definitely seems to be something percolating out there. I trust, though, we're ready, whatever this is. It's going to be an interesting summer. It is an election year. It's already been so crazy. Just unplug, just disengage from all of it, guys, and do your thing and be happy. All right. We would like to remind you of the guidance that was provided previously. Unplug from mainstream media. Unplug from all the social commentary that will come as a result of what's going on in mass media. Resist the urge to engage. Resist the temptation to fall prey to forces who want to stifle and squash your light. They do not have this power over you. You are in choice, dear ones. You are sovereign and you are free. You decide how to carry yourselves through this time, what to engage with, how to engage with it. This planet will continue to need much healing through the next 1,000 years. The light workers and the starseeds, the way showers and the guardians of light are critical to maintaining balance. Please do not allow yourselves to get rattled here. Open hearts, knowing who and what you are in truth, knowing and understanding the bigger picture and the dynamics in play. This will help you keep your perspective. We commend you, dear ones, for your bravery, your steadfastness, your willingness to say yes, and to be present for these changes, not for the faint of heart. All right, and that's how they ended it. All right. I just thought this was an incredible message from these guys. I am really looking forward to tomorrow's live event, 11 a.m. Pacific time, guys. You'll have to, again, it's a free event if you want to join. Just put $0 and it should allow you to register. I love what they're saying here. Who will continue to gaze on the face of such incredible knowledge? Who's going to be ready to do this? I know that all of us are ready to do this, or most of us, or we're trying at least. And we've been working on this probably for many, many lifetimes to get to this point. We've probably been together many, many lifetimes to get to this point. But, not everybody is ready. Again, the message here for those who are kind of wanting to do something and take this information and amplify it, Melchizedek has been clear. It's not about that. It's about how you carry yourselves, the vibration that you hold, how you're treating yourself, your unconditional love for you, how you're treating others. It's about being this beacon of light through example, not by what you're saying or trying to convince somebody. Remember that you don't need to be validated. You really don't need people to understand this. You don't need people to really understand you, as long as you've got that knowing deep within yourself of what this is, who and what you are in truth, and how you serve in truth. Okay, that's a lot. I'm going to go. Thanks again for being here. Thanks for all that you're doing to bring the light, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. It really is the home stretch. 1,000 years, we can do this. No problem. We've got this. And I want to say hello to all the galactic and metaphysical beings who catch this weekly series from wherever you're at. Thank you so much for your love, your support, your attention, your energy, your focus. We love you and appreciate you too. All right, guys. I love you. Thank you. I will see you all tomorrow or next week. Mwah.